There is a company that controls 95% of U.S. rocket launches. It runs the largest satellite network in human history. It just merged with one of the hottest AI companies on the planet, and it may be about to go public at a valuation between $1.5 and $1.75 trillion. Potentially the largest IPO in history. That company is SpaceX, and today we're breaking it down like investors. Most people think SpaceX is Elon Musk's rocket company, and they're not wrong, but that's like saying Amazon is a bookstore. SpaceX is actually 3 businesses stacked inside one company. 1. Launch Services. Falcon 9 is the workhorse. In 2025, SpaceX completed 167 launches, roughly one every 2 days, with a 99.53% success rate. They control 82% of the global commercial launch market and conduct 95% of all U.S. launches. No competitor is even close. Launch costs have been slashed up to 70% below traditional rockets thanks to reusable booster technology. A single Falcon 9 booster has now flown 15 times. 2. Starlink. This is the crown jewel. Over 9,600 satellites in low Earth orbit, about 66% of all active satellites globally. More than 10 million active subscribers worldwide as of early 2026. Projected 2026 revenue between $20 and $24 billion, and EBITDA margins estimated between 54% and 63%. This is a high-margin, recurring subscription business operating in space. It is unlike anything that has ever been publicly traded. 3. Starship in the future. The most powerful rocket ever built, fully reusable, capable of carrying 100 tons to orbit. NASA has contracted it for the Artemis moon landing, and its long-term commercial debut in 2026 could unlock cost structures that make today's Falcon 9 economics look primitive. Let's talk about what we actually know on the financial side. SpaceX generated an estimated $16 billion in revenue in 2025. Starlink alone contributed roughly $10.6 billion of that, about 67% of total company revenue, with $5.8 billion in EBITDA at a 54% margin. Launch Services added another $4.2 billion. The overall company EBITDA is estimated at $8 billion for 2025. Then in February 2026, SpaceX completed an all-stock merger with xAI, Elon Musk's AI company behind the Grok model, valuing xAI at $250 billion. The thesis: integrate AI directly into the Starlink satellite network for space-based edge computing and orbital AI data centers. The combined entity is now targeting an IPO valuation between $1.5 trillion and $1.75 trillion, with plans to raise $50 to $75 billion, which would shatter every capital raise record in history. ARK Invest, which holds SpaceX as its largest venture fund position at 17% of net assets, has publicly backed the $1.75 trillion valuation as grounded in real fundamentals. The bull case. Here is what makes the bulls so excited and why this is not just hype. 1. Starlink is a monopoly in the making. Amazon's Project Kuiper is trying to compete with 3,236 satellites. SpaceX already has 9,600 in orbit and is launching more every week. The barrier to entry isn't money. It's years of build time, spectrum rights, and launch cadence that no competitor can match. When Rocket Lab, the only other serious orbital launch provider, saw its stock fall 8% on SpaceX's IPO filing news, that tells you everything about the competitive dynamic. 2. The cost curve keeps dropping. Each time a Falcon 9 booster reflights, the cost per launch gets cheaper. When Starship reaches full commercial operation, Analysts project launch costs could fall to as low as $2 million to $10 million per mission. That unlocks entirely new markets: space tourism, orbital manufacturing, point-to-point Earth transport, none of which are priced into current models. 3. The XAI orbital computing thesis. Space-based AI data centers powered by Starlink's network is not science fiction. It's the strategic direction Elon Musk has publicly committed to. If AI workloads migrate partially to orbit, away from ground-based regulatory constraints and latency bottlenecks, SpaceX sits at the center of that infrastructure. Wedbush analysts describe this as an orbital intelligence narrative that could add hundreds of billions in long-term value. 4. Government contracts are locked in. SpaceX secured 5 of 7 NSSL Phase 3 national security launch contracts in 2025, worth over $1 billion, on top of NASA's Artemis and ISS crew rotation work. When the U.S. military and NASA depend on one company for access to space, that is not a customer relationship. That is a strategic dependency. The bear case. Now the risks. And for an IPO at this valuation, they are significant. Valuation math. At $1.75 trillion and $16 billion in 2025 revenue, you are paying 109 times trailing revenue. Even on projected 2026 revenue of $25 billion, that's still 70 times sales. For context, Tesla and Palantir, both considered richly valued, trade at far lower multiples. You are paying for Starlink growth, Starship success, orbital AI computing, Mars colonization, and peak retail demand all at once. There is no margin for error. Elon Musk concentration risk. SpaceX operates under a dual-class share structure, giving Musk approximately 78% voting control. Retail investors buying into this IPO will have almost zero voting power. And the brand, execution capability, and public perception of SpaceX are inseparable from Musk personally. His simultaneous management of Tesla, X, XAI, Neuralink, and now the SpaceX XAI merged entity is a risk every investor must sit with. Starship is not proven at scale yet. A Starship launch failure in April 2026 has already raised questions about the commercial debut timeline. If Starship development stalls, the entire long-term valuation thesis, lower launch costs, orbital compute, Mars, gets pushed back years. NASA's moon landing timeline depends on it too. The $75 billion raise. That would be 2.5 times the largest capital raise in IPO history. Absorbing that level of supply requires extraordinary institutional and retail demand simultaneously, globally. If demand falls short, the IPO could price below target and create a rocky public debut. So where does this leave you? SpaceX is the rarest of things, a company with genuine proven monopoly economics in one segment, world-class execution, and real optionality in markets that don't exist yet. Starlink alone, valued as a standalone subscription business, could justify a $1 trillion valuation. Everything else, Starship, XAI, orbital computing, Mars, is optionality on top of that. But here is the honest truth every investor needs to hear. The S1 prospectus changes everything. Until SpaceX files publicly and discloses audited revenue splits, true margins, Starship spending, and the exact share structure, you are investing on narrative, not numbers. The IPO could arrive priced like every dream is already guaranteed. Or it could arrive at a valuation that actually gives public investors room to grow into. The smart move right now: study the business deeply, understand the 3 revenue pillars, and wait for the S1. If the numbers support the valuation, this could be the investment opportunity of a generation. If they don't, patience will protect you. The launch window is approaching. Whether you're on board or watching from the ground, You need to understand what's coming. Elon Musk once said the goal of SpaceX is to make humanity multiplanetary. Wall Street just wants to know if the stock will go up. The truth is, both things might happen. This is not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. Drop a like if this helped. Subscribe for more deep dives and tell me in the comments, would you buy SpaceX at a $1.75 trillion valuation on IPO day? And that's a wrap on today's video. If you stuck around to the end, you're already ahead of most people. Seriously. The fact that you're here, learning, putting in the work, that matters. The market will open again tomorrow. The question is, will you be ready? Stay covered, stay strategic, let your money fly. Everything shared on this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing you hear or see here should be taken as financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a licensed professional before making any investment decisions.